Welcome, baby. It's March. Let the madness begin. We're doing a bracket challenge here on the Cam Sports Jam again. We want all of the jammers to get involved. Go to yahoo.com. You can sign up there. The link for the bracket challenge is also going to be on the description of our YouTube show, our channel right here. Subscribe, jammers. Please, baby. Please subscribe. Also, the winner of the bracket challenge is going to get a $25 gift card and a chance to appear on the show with Brad Cameron, baby, with BC the host. Also, you'll find the link on Twitter. You can go to Twitter and you can find the link there as well. You can also go to Instagram. Instagram, baby, is what everyone's doing. It's the diaper dandies all over Instagram, baby. Find the link there. Sign up for the bracket challenge. You can also find it on Facebook, Cam Sports Jam, Cam Sports Jam Show on Instagram, and then Cam Sports Jam on Twitter. Sign up, follow him, subscribe. It's great, baby. Get involved, jammers. Welcome back, my jammers and jamettes. You're tuned in once again to another episode of the Cam Sports Jam. Brad Cameron, your host here, welcoming you back. Thank you so much for tuning in to another show. I hope you're excited for this week because the official madness that is March and college basketball starts this week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. First round matchups are always crazy. So I look forward to some of the exciting whirlwind that is the first and second round of the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament. As you notice, I have brought back a couple items that are of a certain organizational team to the set again. Got a little bit upset with how the Redskins were being run, and so I brought back my trash can and I brought back my coffee mug that are Redskins, and I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about our organization. We actually did have a decent free agency, so if you notice that, you're very attentive, number one. And number two, I've calmed down a little bit, and the Redskins aren't as frustrating as they were about two and a half weeks ago. Look forward to what they are going to do in the draft, but right now, okay, I can live with what they've done in free agency. Want to give a shout out to Good Samaritans Medical Transport, LLC. For all your medical transport needs, just call Good Samaritans Medical Transport. Good Samaritans Medical Transport, service that exceeds expectations. Okay, jammers, let's dive into it. Let's get local, like we always do to start the show. I want to talk Caps first, so let's go get into the NHL. Right now, Caps have a 2-point lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins for first place. They have 97 points. Pittsburgh's at 95 points for the season. They still have 13 more games remaining. 2 versus the Columbus, the Blue Jackets, 1 against the New York Rangers, 1 against the Wild. And looking at the rest of their schedule outside of those games, in comparison to other teams in the East, the Caps actually have the easiest remaining schedule, relative easiest remaining schedule. And so I really hope the Caps, dig deep to really try and finish this season off, because I want them to finish in first place, and I want them to have home ice. And you got 2 other teams in the East that are chasing really, really tight. And so I really need to see them finish this season off and really give themselves that advantage of having home ice, because they really have been so good at home. And so, let's look forward to a couple of these matchups and really see how the picture is going to start playing out. But the Caps, they were on a 4-game skid until they just beat the Wild, so they really need to settle down. They need to win some hockey games. Let's move on. Let's talk NBA. Let's talk about the Wizards. They have 16 games left. Their season is almost over. 7 of their remaining games are against playoff teams, and 10 of their last 16 are on the road. Wizards currently 41-25 record. They're third in the East, a half a game out of second place, a half a game behind Boston. This is a tremendous season, and it started off really shaky. Stevie and I have gone back and forth. Normally Stevie's with me. I'm by myself today, but normally we go back and forth about the Wizards, and I'm always relatively optimistic. He's relatively pessimistic, but this season really, even though it was a little shaky to start, has really blossomed, and I've seen maturity out of our backcourt that has been fantastic. Wall, Beal, even Porter have been awesome, and it's made everyone else play better as well. But since becoming the Wizards in 1997, previously the Bullets, so since 1997, they've never had a 50-win season. And I think this could be the year. I mean, they got 16 games left. They need to win 9 of them. I'm not saying that's going to be easy, but if they can finish 9-7, which is about 500, but they're marginally above 500 at the moment, but if they can finish 9-7 in their last 16 games, they will eclipse that 50 that 50 game win season, and I think that would be great for this team and for the organization. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait to see what these guys have to offer and what this team can do in the playoffs. Hopefully they can squeak out a 2 seed, because that would just be icing on the cake after a great season. Also locking up the 2 seed would be awesome. Let's talk a little bit of college basketball. It is March. Let's talk about the Maryland women and the women's NCAA tournament. Maryland women got no love whatsoever in the seeding this year. Absolutely insane. They finished the season 30-2, and they finished as a 3 seed. Finished the season 30-2, and they won the Big Ten. They get a 3 seed in the tournament. Not only that, the committee thinks it's a good idea to throw them in UConn's region. So Maryland's a 3 seed, and if they advance far enough, they make it to the Sweet 16. They're gonna have to face off against UConn. Like that's completely fair. I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable with the seeding that Maryland women got this year and the lack of respect, that they're giving this team that for the past 2 and 3 years have been a 2 seed, have been a 1 seed, and 30-2 season, 30 wins, 2 losses, and that's a 3 seed. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Was not happy to get that news. That's very disappointing. Brenda Fries, I'm sure you're upset. You're a classy lady, so you're not going to express it, so we're going to have to do it for you right here on the Jam. That's a bunch of bull, committee for NCAA women's tournament. That's crap. All right, let's talk basketball. NCAA basketball. Let's talk Terps. We're going to dissect Maryland, and then we're going to talk more college basketball after our next break. But let's talk Maryland. They got a 6 seed in the tournament. They're in the West region. And their matchup, round 1, is against Xavier, and that game's on Thursday on TNT at about 7 o'clock. 6:50 is tip-off time for that game. And let's be honest, Maryland fans, we have not looked good. They have given us no reason to think that they're going to win a game in the NCAA tournament. They couldn't even win a game in the Big Ten tournament against a Northwestern team that is very proud, and they have a lot to play for. And congrats to them for making the NCAA tournament this year, first time ever for that program's history. So congratulations to a Northwestern team that really wanted it, and obviously wanted more than Maryland. But I'll give us a 1% chance to win that basketball game against Xavier. The last couple games I've watched Maryland play, even with the games that they've won, they've played with virtually no energy, no hustle, and no care. And I don't think that all of a sudden it's going to change. I think towards the latter half of the season, that just became everyone's attitude. And I haven't seen anything change to make me think that all of a sudden we're going to step it up on the biggest stage and all of a sudden, oh, now we care. You practice these things and you do these things so you can implement them on the biggest stage. Not all of a sudden on the biggest stage, you go out and just start doing work. I personally don't see it happening. I mean, I hope Maryland wins this game, and I hope they make some kind of special run. I would not count on it, though. I am not betting on Maryland to do much in the NCAA tournament this year. So that's going to wrap up the local stuff that we have to talk about. Now I want to talk March Madness. I want to talk about the NCAA tournament, and I want to go through some questions. And I want to get you guys' input as well. I want to get my jammers' input on some of these questions. We're going to talk NCAA tournament. It's madness. You're watching the Jam. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Jam, my jammers and jamettes. Want to show some love to another one of our sponsors, Silver Spring Social Sports. Silver Spring Social Sports is a 21 and up social sports league. They have sports such as dodgeball, kickball, volleyball, soccer, and football. If you want to get involved in any of these sports, you can go to silverspringssocialsports.com and sign up there. Silver Spring Social Sports, come out and play. Okay, let's get back to the madness. College basketball, the brackets have been released. Everyone starts looking at them and they start sizing them up and thinking, this could be the one. I'm going to get them all right this year. I'm going to pick the Cinderellas and I'm going to pick the winner and pick the dark horses and this is going to be epic. And then the first round happens and then you crumple it up and then you throw it away because tragically it never goes the way you want it to. But it's always fun. Okay, so let's talk picture college basketball. One thing I've been saying the past couple years, my West Coast fans are not going to like this at all, but the West Coast has not really represented themselves well in the tournament in a long time. Let me give you some stats about West Coast affiliated teams that haven't really had the best success in the last 20 years. So the last time there was a champion, last time a West Coast affiliated team was the champion was 1997. And that was the University of Arizona. Last time a team made it to the finals, a finals appearance, was 2006. Kevin Love and his UCLA Bruins. Last time there was a Final Four appearance for a West Coast team was 2008. UCLA made it back in 2008. But they've had a couple nice seeds. They've had a number 1 or 2 seed 5 times since 2009. So they've had opportunities. You know, these West Coast teams, San Diego State, I think, was one of them. I know UCLA has been, Arizona has been as well. That they've been given opportunities to make some noise in the NCAA tournament and really pretty much have flopped, to say the least. I apologize to my West Coast fans, but really they have. I mean, the East has been dominating. Whether or not it's VCU, whether or not it's Butler. I know they're not really East; they're from Indiana, but they're certainly not a West Coast team. And just no team has found a way to step it up. And the East really has been dominating the tournament for the past several years, several years, dating back about 20. The West virtually has been quiet. Now, I want to talk about the top 25 a little bit this year. Finishing the polls, UCLA, Gonzaga, Oregon, Arizona, and St. Mary's are all ranked in the top 25. So you got apparently 5 top teams that are in college basketball. You would think one of them is going to be able to make some noise, but history has told us no. But this year, I think it changes. Finally, I think a West Coast team pulls through this year, and I'll reveal to you later. I just wanted to throw that little tidbit out there. I'll reveal to you later exactly who I got from the West that's finally going to make some noise and really be able to put the West back and say, hey, look, we can compete with UNC and with Duke and with these teams, that are out east. But I want to go over some questions. Whenever we get our bracket, we're always looking at it. It's like, man, let's look at these. So let me ask you some questions, Jammers, and I'm going to give you my answers as well. Question number 1. What is your most intriguing first-round matchup? I mean, we get our brackets, and right away we start looking for upsets. Like, where can the upsets be? Where? Find them. But mine, I think a very intriguing matchup, not necessarily on upset alert, but a very intriguing matchup is Purdue versus Vermont. You got a Vermont team, 29-5 season, and this team is excited. The first time they've been in a tournament, I think as well, along with Northwestern. But this Purdue team has had some pretty good seedings in the last 2 years. They've lost first round both years, and so this year Purdue, wins the regular season Big Ten title. They're one of the only Big Ten teams that are ranked. There's some pressure on them, and I'm very intrigued to see how this Purdue team that has lost the last 2 years, how are they going to respond? I mean, you put together this season again, you got yourself in position to make some noise. How are you going to respond this year in the tournament? Because they've flopped in the past 2 years. I mean, they lost, was it Arkansas Little Rock last year, and I applaud these guys from Arkansas Little Rock, but I just wonder, I wonder if that's going to be on these kids' minds that, hey, we've blown it. Last couple times, we've blown it. And so I just wonder what they're thinking. Give me your thoughts, Jammers, on what you think is the most intriguing first-round matchup. Also, who's your Cinderella? Question number 2. What everyone wants to do, they want to pick that one team where it's like, oh, I saw them coming from miles away. I knew it. I called it, saw it coming. So let me hear. I want to know, who's your Cinderella? Leave me a comment. This year for me, my Cinderella is Rhode Island. Looking at this Rhode Island team, they have a first-round matchup against Creighton. And Creighton has not looked that good since they lost their starting point guard. And this Rhode Island team, they're on a high right now. They're excited to be there. They were on the bubble, and they were able to win their conference championship, to stamp their ticket and say, hey, we're coming. Take us off the bubble because we're coming anyway, and you can't stop us. I think they're going to be hyped, and they're going to be playing strong, and Creighton just haven't looked good. They haven't clicked ever since losing their point guard. I feel bad. I hope he recovers well, but you can't ignore that. Can't ignore a situation. So Rhode Island, I have them beating Creighton first round. And then, most likely, they will face off against an Oregon team that also just lost one of their better players. Their big man, their enforcer, tore his ACL and will be out for the NCAA tournament. And I think Rhode Island could take advantage of that situation. Oregon had a great run last year in the NCAA tournament, but this is a big blow to them. It's really unfortunate, but I could see Rhode Island squeaking out another win here, and I'm going to take Rhode Island as my Cinderella this year in the NCAA tournament. Let me ask you this. Next question, what is the toughest region? Which region looks the hardest to get through? Which one is the most loaded? I think it has to be the South. When you look at the South region, they have North Carolina, Kentucky, and also UCLA. I mean, there's 3 teams that definitely jump out at you, and you're just like, whoa. But then you have Wichita State in there as well. They're not going to be an easy out by any stretch of the imagination. Cincinnati, Butler, a Minnesota team that's really played hard this year in maybe a down year for the Big Ten. But I think just top to bottom and, stellar on top, the South region is going to be the hardest. Jammers, give me your thoughts. What do you think is going to be the hardest region to get out of? Question number 4. Which bracket is most up for grabs? So it looks like, the South is going to be the hardest. Which one maybe doesn't have as much depth, and which one is really up for grabs, and any team could get it? In my opinion, I think it's the West. I look at the West, and you got Gonzaga in there. I mean, Gonzaga, they typically tend to flop in the tournament. And so, no offense to my Zags, my Zag Jammers, I'm sorry. I have no reason to think that you're going to make noise this year. But then you look at teams like Notre Dame that have played such a tough schedule in the ACC, that went to the ACC championship, played a tough game against Duke. This team is scary. They're scary good at a 5 seed. And they've seen great teams this year. I mean, they've played Louisville, played North Carolina, they played Duke, they played Florida State. I mean, they've played such a tough schedule. UVA, you name it, they've seen it. I mean, this team is ready to go in terms of, how much more difficult opponents they're going to see. They already saw it. Like, they've already seen a very, very rigorous test this year, and I think this team is very scary at a 5 seed. Also, you look at Florida State. Florida State in there as well, coming out of the ACC. They've played a tough schedule as well. But then you got Arizona, possibly the favorite, most picks maybe coming out that side. But I just don't know. I think it's up for grabs. I really, really do. And so I think the West bracket could be anyone's. And Maryland sitting there in the West bracket, who knows? I'm just saying. I think it's up for grabs. Next question. What is going to be the biggest first round upset? In your opinions, which lowest seed is going to have the biggest upset? And for me, it's going to be my ETSU Buccaneers versus Florida, baby. Let's go. Get bucked up. ETSU, a 14 seed against Florida, a 3 seed. Florida, a 4 seed, ETSU, a 13. I'm excited for for the ETSU Bucks and Steve Forbes, what they put together this season. I hope TJ Cromer plays fantastic tomorrow against Florida, and I think they get the win. I think that's going to be the biggest first-round upset. Jammers, give me your thoughts. Tell me if you have a 16 versus 1 and you're feeling really crazy, or if you see a 15 versus 2, maybe a situation like Michigan State versus MTSU last year. Give me your thoughts on that, Jammers. All right, next question. Who is in your Final Four? Who do you have in your Final Four brackets? I have SMU. I have Louisville. I have North Carolina. And I have Arizona. There's my West team that I think is gonna creep in. I just think they are the most complete team out of all of those teams. They play good defense. They can score. They do it all. And I think Arizona, in a bracket or in a region that I said is kind of a toss-up, I think they show the most promise out of all the teams in there. Notre Dame, I think, is going to challenge them, but I think Arizona is going to win. Represent their school in the Final Four this year. Jammers, please give me your Final Four thoughts and opinions of who you think is going to make it out of every single region. Let's also talk champion, because this is always a big topic as well. Who's going to win it? So here's the big question. My champ this year is the University of North Carolina. They got so close last year. They have a lot of the same pieces coming back. They got a great team again this year. Very, very tough region to get out of. I mean, we've already said the South is loaded. I mean, UNC, UCLA, UK, Kentucky, that is, all tremendous basketball teams. It is going to be tough for North Carolina to get through that and make it to the Final Four, make it to the finals, and to win the championship. But I just think this North Carolina team is very, very loaded. They're stellarly talented, and they've been there. I mean, last year they were close, and they have a lot of returning guys. I think this year they get over the hump. I think they get it done. Tar Heels, national champions this year. Now, give me 3 teams who you think should be on upset alert for the first round. One of mine is going to be Purdue. You know, I said it's an intriguing matchup against Vermont, first round. Upset alert, Purdue, in my opinion. Florida, like I said, my ETSU Bucks, I think are going to take them down. So, Florida, Gators, chomp, chomp, you should be on upset alert. Also, Creighton. You know, like I mentioned, my Cinderella is Rhode Island. So I think Creighton needs to be on upset alert. Those are my 3 upset alert teams. And Jammers, let's get your thoughts. Give me 3 teams that you think should be on upset alert. And let's see if you get it right. I want to remind everybody to still get involved in the Cam Sports Jam Bracket Challenge. The winner will receive $25 Visa gift card and an appearance alongside me on the Cam Sports Jam. We'll go over your bracket. We'll talk about how everything broke down. So please get involved. We want you guys to comment. We want you involved. You can find the link on Instagram. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it also on Facebook. You can also find it in the description on my YouTube channel of this show. So please, sign up. Get involved. It would be fantastic. Watch basketball. Enjoy it. It's going to be so much fun. I think that's all the time we have for you here on the Cam Sports Jam. Everyone, enjoy watching the tournament. Go crazy for your teams, especially ETSU. Let's go Bucks. Hopefully they can pull off a big win against Florida. And I want to remind you guys, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Have a great day.